Hello everyone, welcome back here to Canning Farms, and in today's video what we're going to be doing is we're actually going something completely different, and in today's video we're going planting veg. So we just started there a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to throw in a bit of footage from the last couple of weeks of us planting different bits and pieces at different times and show you how we got on. So you might be wondering why we decided to plant a bit of veg, and first of all it's just, I suppose, a bit of an experiment to see what will grow and where it'll grow and how much we can grow of it. Secondly as well, we're in a corner here, I'll show it to you in a second, that is behind the wire. It was just going to be covered in scrub, so we said we might as well put something into it that might be of value to us. And secondly, when I was younger we used to always do this sort of stuff with my grandparents and that, and since I started farming up here I've done nothing like it, so I like tricking about with things like this, so it's good to have them memories too. And we're not under any illusions, we're not going to be self-sufficient or anything by any means, but if we even grow a little bit and next year we can grow a bit more and things like that, you know. We're back in the famine times, we're going planting potatoes, so I have the in-laws here, they're off camera there, they don't want to be on, and we have the first line of the trench in, so we're going to put in drills or mould them. Okay, so that's our drill in here. So what we did there is Christine marked it out there, and then we dug it and you throw the soil back in the middle and you make a bit of a ridge. And then what Martin's doing here now is he's coming along and he's making the holes where you drop down the potatoes into them, and we cover them with soil. So the potatoes are split, so what you have to do is just leave one eye on it. And what you do then is you're coming along here now and you're just plopping your potatoes into each hole, and then that'll produce another potato, so you can split them as long as they have an eye on them that they can grow out. So that's your actual like potato plant, and then you just cover them over and that's it. And then as they come up, then the leaves come up, then you start moulding more up along the edges of them, and then this is the edge of your thing then is your walkway then along it. So now what you do then is just come along with your potatoes then, just drop them down. It's made easy by everyone that's standing behind the camera has dug all the holes and they just come along. And then what you have to do then is just cover them up and fertilise them then, might put a bit of fertiliser on them. And that's one row of potatoes done. So we cover that up, and then we might just stick a second one up there, and then we put in our onions and garlics on the inside of that, and that's that. So we're digging a new row here, so basically we just come out a couple of inches from the last one. You just dig along to make your drill, taking up any rocks that we hit along the way or anything, and then basically you're leaving just enough in between that you can get in behind them and dig enough for when you're moulding up. Right, and now what we're doing now is we're quenching the potatoes, as they say, or don't say, but we're just covering in the potatoes as we go, tapping them down, making sure they're covered, and then what we'll do is come along afterwards then with a bit of farmyard manure on top. Some people put it on first and then turn them over on the potato, but as long as you have enough soil on top of them. And then is half filling it with soil, or 3/4 filling it with soil. You can see the soil that's up here, it's kind of real black, real fertile stuff because it was under the trees for years. It's full of organic matter. And then what I'll do is we'll top this off with some compost, and this is where the onions are going to go, and the garlic. So I'm just doing is filling them up, tamping them down a bit so that there's a bit of a finer seed bed. And then we're not growing them from seed, we're growing them from little bulbs. So what you do there is you just literally go along, make a hole and just drop it down just underneath the soil. That's all you need, and just space them out maybe about 5 centimetres, give them a little bit of room, and do them in rows. So basically you'll have maybe 20 onions in this pot and 20 in that and 20 in the next. So then with these onions, then all I'm doing is just coming along and just giving them a little light covering over, of compost. So I have a couple of pallets here that I'm going to try and make into sort of a raised bed. So for breaking down the pallets, usually do it the hard way and get a hammer and start whacking and breaking boards and everything. But I bought this pallet buster. What's it called? A Gorilla Pallet Buster is the name of it. So let's see how she goes. So you just stick her in there, turn it, and it pulls up, and no damage to the board so far. No, that was easy. Well, that made absolute bits of that, so it was really easy to use in that, so it's a great job, because I think pallets are actually underused resource around the yard. There's loads of them, we end up just burning them rather than actually using them for something. So next job is just to hammer out some of the nails that are in the timber. Only one I could find, whatever the big one's gone. So I'm going to keep this extremely simple, well, as simple as I can. So the best way of no measuring is just go the length of the boards, and that's how we'll work it. So I'm just using 2 of the pallet boards here because they're a bit flimsy. I'm just going to use 2 of them, and I'm going to go 2 high as well. I'm just going to drive in there now. So I'll put more screws in there, but that's roughly what you're speaking there for your sort of raised bed. So you're probably 9 inches high. That'll give me enough that I can put in some topsoil and some compost. And okay, so that's the raised bed there now. So probably about 4 foot by 4 foot, and made out of scraps of timber. And if you went to buy one of them in the shops, it'd be about 200 quid, I'd say. So this is the bed up in its place now. So what we're going to do is just give this a good watering. We have some compost left over, so we'll give that as a top coat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be planting our carrots in 2 rows here, or 3 rows. Apart from that, we have onions are all up, so they're all onions. In here then, in this one is garlic. Here we have some peas that are a bit later. We sowed some peas in the ridges, so they're all coming up. So these have been in about 2 weeks now. So as you can see there, the pea shoots are coming up. So what we'll do is when they get a bit bigger is we'll tie sticks up on string and we'll tie them onto it so they can climb up. Then our potatoes are starting to come up. So these are the Morris Pipers. And then over here then we have our roosters. So they're starting to come up as well. We have 1, 2, 3 lines of potatoes. Then we have more onions here, and then we have beetroot here then as well. That is a weed. Get that out. So you can see the lines of beetroot there, they're starting to come up. So as they come up, you just kind of pluck the lightest of them, and then at the ends then again we have onions and garlic then. Big things as well that we'll be kind of using all the time in cooking, and that we can store well, because we don't have a massive freezer, so we need stuff to be able to store out in the dry. So onions, carrots, potatoes, things like that, as long as you keep them cool and dark or whatever, they'll be fine. Just giving this a quick rake and taking out any of the bigger stones that might be in that pile, or any of the roots or things like that, or weeds or anything. I put some manure on the bottom of this, and we'll put a top layer of compost on top and plant into that. But I just think these sort of raised beds, I've seen them on a few videos that I was watching, and I think they're a great idea because it saves you digging into the ground for next year. Like, say you do the first year, and then you can just put compost in on top of this again, and I think they're a better job than going digging ridges all the time. Types of carrots that we're going planting. So this one is Autumn King, and it says thinly sow at 1.5 centimetres, 30 centimetres apart, and water before you put it in. So the rows are there now. So I think the key, what I've been watching with different things, is with carrots, you have to keep them wet. That's what she said. So that's your carrot seeds there, so they're absolutely tiny. So what you do then is you just sort of sprinkle them in, and then after a couple of weeks then you kind of pluck them out then. So you just go along sprinkling them in. Now what we'll do then is just cover them over. So we'll just cover them over. And what I'll do is I'll just put a bit of cardboard on top just to keep them moist, and hopefully they germinate, and we'll have a good crop of carrots. So the next thing that we're growing now is broad beans. So we're putting in these with the carrots because we looked it up and it said that carrots benefit from having beans planted beside them and peas. So they're going in a line, so about 2 inches deep. About 2 inches deep. So this is actually the bigger of the seeds, so you can see the beans there. We'll just throw in the rest of the beans into these 2 ridges here, and we'll give them a bit of a water then. Beans are handy. We do throw them into like spaghetti bologneses and things like that, so we said we'd actually use these. You're trying to figure out when you're picking your veg what you'll actually use. There's no point me planting something and sure you never eat it.
Jesus.
So we started the lettuce and the cabbage and some of the spinach here in these trays, so they've already started sprouting. So what we're doing is, it's been about 2 or 3 weeks, about 2 weeks now since these have been in, or 3 weeks, so we're just going to plant these into the bigger planter, and then what we'll do then is, in those pots then we'll plant more seeds in there, so then you have a constant supply coming all the time. You don't want to plant, obviously you don't want to plant everything at the one time, or you'd just be eating lettuce for weeks. So each one of these as well has to get thinned out because there's multiple plants in each one. So you can see how the roots have sprouted in the little pots. So they have a good start anyway. You're just plonking them in. It's funny too how 2 weeks ago these were just dry seeds in a pack, and now they're growing like mad. So if we can grow them, anyone can grow them. So, but the good thing about them is that it's just a constant, plentiful supply of these. And all you need is a few bags of compost. And we just made this, as you can see, we made this planter out of an old pallet that was lying around the yard there, and it was going rotten. So might as well use it for something. Jeez, your spring onions are black. I'll just sprinkle them in. And just cover them over. Last thing I want to put in here is some radish for Karen's mother. So again, just sort of roll along, 1.5 centimetres, again being watered already. There what your radish seeds looks like. And then just drop them along again. What we'll do is we'll do more rows of these as we go. So go them over again. Give them a tap down, we give them a quick water, and that is everything filled in. So you might have seen there that we have a JFC trailer as well that was sent down to me by Lambert's in Roscommon there, so just want to say thanks to the lads for that, much appreciated. So we're doing a review on it, on the Ivor Williams trailer that I have for the quad, and the quad itself at some stage. It's hit the 100 hours now, so we'll do a quick review on that. But for today anyway, I just want to say thanks to everyone for watching. It's been about, I suppose, 2 weeks since we started, and the potatoes and onions and everything are well up. We have our beds put in over there, and like I said, it'd just be interesting to see how much food actually comes out of this small area that was, like I said, going to be waste ground. So yeah, thanks for watching, and something different, and shall we see you in the next one.